Hi, I'm Jeanne Hecht, the CEO and Chairwoman of the Board for Lexitas. Excited to be here speaking with you today. For those of you that don't know who we are, Lexitas is a ophthalmology-focused, dedicated contract research organization. We had the privilege of coming together with Erie Retina Research in May of this year, along with CASEX and Element Imaging. And as an organization, our goal is to help change the way people see the world. And we do that by being a fantastic provider of services worldwide to our pharmaceutical, biotech, and medtech clients, and being an employer of choice.
Thanks, Jeanne. I'm Dr. David Almeida. I'm a vitreoretinal surgeon and the founder of Erie Retina Research and CASEX, and I'm the Chief Retina Officer for Lexitas Pharma Services. And really thrilled to bring a patient-centric approach to clinical trials to someone with the skills and vision of Jeanne and the Lexitas team.
Over the last several years, there's been a substantial increase in retinal trials. Gene therapies, cell therapies, and a lot of really interesting new products have been coming through the development, and we've been getting really good insights from those from folks like Dr. Almeida. There's definitely a greater need for an operational model to change the industry. All of us read the same statistics. 80% of clinical trials fail to meet their enrollment targets. That's an astonishing number for an industry and a group of really smart folks that have been around for so long. So our goal, when we looked at on the Lexitas team of partnering with Dr. Almeida and the team at Erie Retina Research and CASEX and Element Imaging, was how do we bring all of this together in an integrated fashion that really goes to break that statistic of 80% of trials failing to meet their recruitment targets on time. So vertical integration is also not a new topic. It's been around for within a lot of different industries, and Henry Ford and the folks in the automotive industries have pioneered it many, many years ago. And we thought, why not try to do the same thing here? Bringing on Dr. Almeida, world-class retinal surgeon, key opinion leader, and strategic thinker into the organization, and bringing the organizations together to be able to provide faster, smarter, and better clinical trials for not just the sponsors, but also for the patients, most importantly for the patients who are counting on it, was really critical. So I wanted to have a site perspective so we could run trials in a smarter fashion and in a more efficient fashion that allows us to get insights quicker and therefore bring products to market faster or potentially fail faster. So when we looked at this, it was around expanding patient access, expanding patient care, looking at clinical research as a care option, having streamlined enrollment, and centralized image reading center. Bringing all of that together is sure to provide a return on our original thinking that an integrated model is better than one that is segregated. Expanded retinal expertise, bringing the great expertise that Dr. Almeida has to the team at Lexitas has been instrumental in our ability to continue to evolve how we think about the conduct, the execution, and the design of retinal programs. His leadership and understanding the endpoints, the patient pathway, as well as understanding some of the nuances that you don't know when you're not at a site about how people go through the care continuum, where there tends to be roadblocks, where are the challenges with the data and collecting of the data. Bringing all of those insights into the Lexitas team and therefore sharing those insights in a coordinated manner with our sponsors is sure to help design better trials that are more efficient and less burdensome to the clinical trial participant. Up in Erie, Dr. Almeida and the team have a very wide net that they cast across that region and have a great number of patients, be it in AMD, GA, other inherited retinal diseases, and having the knowledge of what those patients, how they present themselves, the type of care that they expect, and the type of treatment modalities that they respond well to is equally as important for the team at Lexitas. And then for us, David will talk in a little bit about the work that he does and why it's important from an Erie perspective. But I also think about the longstanding relationships that David has in the industry, the longstanding relationships he has in the community, that his team has. That just amplifies our business together. And when we think about the insights that his team can bring and the insights that he brings to the design of these clinical trials, it's really unmatched. And it helps us to be better partners to our client sponsors. When we think also about medical device studies or surgical intervention studies and the work at CASEX that can be done, be that from standardized surgical procedures or even early design tweaks by using using CASEX as an incubator or an opportunity to better design and develop the medical technology or the surgical training and the surgical technique is also something that is an amplifier to our combined business. I really believe in clinical research as a care option and helped to author that paper back in 2015 with my dear friend Jennifer Byrne. And one of the things that we looked at back then was how does clinical research bring better care to clinical trial participants? And since 2015 and before, I've always been interested in that. And David and his team at Erie Retina Research bring that to me and the team at Lexitas. And for that, I see the combination of the two entities as game-changing and will be industry-leading as we continue to evolve.
And I can speak to that's wonderfully said, Jeanne. I can speak to this CRACO, clinical research as a care option. Literally, Jeanne wrote like the first paper before. Even now, you're going to struggle people understanding what that acronym stands for. But it's really important to us because in 2024, January 1st, we adopted it wholesale. So we no longer took any form of payment. We worked with pharma sponsors directly to bring the best trials to patients. And Jeanne already said important numbers for you. 80% of trials don't reach enrollment targets. They're delayed. Some of them actually hurts their ability to finish their program. If you have in your clinic, if you see clinical research as a little wedge, a little sliver, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get exposed to the things that happen, screen fails and imaging. But if now every patient is a potential clinical trial patient, that automatically changes the value proposition, both for what you offer to your community, advanced vitreoretinal care, without the issues of pre-authorization insurance, and also to sponsors very rapid enrollment and a lot of patients into your trial. Yeah, I think that if you think about the patient and really what we're trying to do for the patient, which is bring advanced treatments with the lowest hurdle possible. CRACO, as we've mentioned, clinical research as a care option, allows us to do that. But now when we think of the broader pipeline, really and trying to meet the demand, before we still are not meeting here our demand in Erie, right? We're now looking forward to our partnership with Jeanne and Lexis to really do that. When you think of the diseases with large TAMs that don't have any treatment, geographic atrophy, with all the patients, the operational infrastructure to continue to deliver at a high scientific rigor and operational excellence requires growth and support. And so this is that support is not agnostic, it's specific and specialized. And so this is where we look to a specialized and specific CRO like Lexitas. And so we're excited about this. And now you have the ability, from a sponsor's point of view, how I see it is that from protocol design to an amendment to regulatory to the patient and to the person enrolling your patients, that could be the same group, which I think is really powerful and allows you to get efficiencies back in clinical trials. Yeah,
It's really important for me and for Dr. Almeida that our sponsors are comfortable with our operating model. It's also important for both of us that our partners are comfortable with our operating model. So we have, while we have, a brand of Lexitas and a brand of Erie Retina Research, we're having strict controls and independence between the two organizations. That allows for there not to be a conflict of interest in the business. That means that we have independent systems, we have independent standard operating procedures, an independent quality management system for each organization separately, and we have independent teams across the organization from an operations perspective. We have distinct management teams as well, and we have firewalls within our IT organization. Adherence to GCP and regulatory requirements is something that neither organization takes lightly, that is embodied into our DNA. And we're making sure that with those governance frameworks, ensure that there's a strict compliance to good clinical practices, our quality management system, and our SOPs, and that there's clear governance and boundaries between the two organizations.
Yeah, and I'll add to that too, because I think this is really important to understand. And once again, I'll reiterate some of the words Jeanne said. That we have separate SOPs, we have completely separate operational delivery teams. There's no overlap, and this is important because what happens in the room with the patient doesn't change. It's exactly the same thing. We have many trials. We're going to try to find the best trial for that patient, or the best patient to try to educate them to what options exist. There's no impact. So I think I like how you said that. And this is we work very really hard because we know that the operational loss of not collaborating would be significant. So it was worth that very hard effort through due diligence and to really create these separate firewall systems. Yeah, this is such an important thing because you think about like two aspects. Are you meeting the demand, which is do you have enough capacity? Do you know where your demand is? And to be an independent site in clinical research is really hard because what do you have to do? Scientific rigor, operational excellence, and infrastructure. It's really hard to do that independently without a strong partner. And so as we try to meet the demand and as Krakow kind of grows and grows as patients come to this access point, we were honest with ourselves, said, hey, we can do this scientific rigor really well, and we can have a person that's relevant to that discussion, but we need help on the operational excellence and infrastructure to really grow and scale. And so this is what I've been the most excited about, is that we can now service our community better, but we can also service patients generally all across better. And that's exciting with the Lexitas team looking forward.
You know, every protocol, every study is super important, and every operational design ultimately comes back to one question: how do we bring better treatments to patients? And with only 13% of adults aged 40 and over currently living with a retinal disease, and that number growing, it's extremely important that we're working hard and we're partnering across the combined entity to do just that. And the only way we can also do that is if we maintain the highest quality standards and safety and care. You know, Lexitas remains a specialized ophthalmology CRO, dedicated to serving our sponsors, our patients, and our research partners. We're dedicated to delivering high quality, efficient, and the highest fidelity of data to support our clients in their decision-making and eventual regulatory submissions. This acquisition enhances, it does not alter that mission and our vision to change the way people see the world. We decided specifically to focus on additional ways to integrate new insights, better insights, and to start to disrupt this clinical trial process that has been over-engineered and perhaps at times litigated to the point of too much separation and segregation. We want to instead create a stronger ecosystem. This doesn't mean just simply combining 1 + 1 = 2. Our goal is 1 + 1 = 4, = 6, = 10. And we're going to do that by creating a real collaborative approach and a new operating model that allows our customers to get access to insights and data and make smarter decisions on behalf of the patients that they strive to serve. And last but not least, we want to make sure that our world-class teams operate with the most comfort that they can, that they're providing the highest level of quality, safety, and care to the patient participants and to our research sponsors, so that we as an organization can continue to change the way people see the world.
Well said, Jeanne. That's where I think vertical integration will give sponsors too, like a big opportunity. Because if you think about it, look at the vendor count in a clinical trial for retina. Look at the protocol length, just in page numbers. Look at the schedule of assessments over the last 5 to 10 years, and it's complexity going up at the almost logarithmic scale. So when you think about that, there's no way the sponsor understands what the phase 1 study is. There's no understand how to operationally implement a phase 3 study, right? You need the physician organization in there. You need a CRO that understands that. And it's really, a CRO is almost not even the right word. It's about an organizational structure that supports the pipeline of a pharma company all the way from the beginning to the end. And that goes to the device trials, goes to every aspect that we've brought up and Jeanne has discussed as well. So this is very exciting because we know what the pipeline looks like, and this is how we get better treatments for our patients.
And if you want to learn more, David and I have an article in The Ophthalmologist. Feel free to read it and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.